Yo, welcome everyone. Or, I mean, we're only like 5 right now. Well, welcome all 5 of you to SEM versus BZ. A highly anticipated match, I think, because it's been arguably the hardest group, the one where SEM and BZ are in right now, and it's pretty much playoffs deciding match for SEM right now. They are 5-3. BZ, I believe, is no longer in contention for playoffs unless they just win everything and win with a lot of RD behind it. But still, let's see. So we'll have Ulako and Sakura as starters for SCM respectively. BZ, welcome. I or L. I will remind you that predictions are live. You can vote for whoever you think is gonna win between BZ and Supreme European Monarchs. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's start. Let me turn up the game volume. First things first. And once again, this is with the new ban list, including skills. You can read more about the skills and whatnot in week 9 channel. Alright, with that out of the way as well, we have Sakura on the bottom with Harpy, Oracle, and Soul's Nest to be used. Surely gonna go into the channeler there. Need that if he has like a good discard, I suppose. There's also just going into Perfumer, getting the Egotist, and that way you get it in the end phase with Oracle. It's not the case though, because he did start with Lady 1. Just gonna be adding the rest. Synchro Summoning, and Cyber Slash. Just the usual. Turn 1, Harpy Lady, play. Has the Eco Test as well. And with this rest, you really hope to draw into something like a Lance. Like maybe head judging if Sakura is running it, but seemingly no back row. So it is gonna be just the Cyber Slash as well as Harpy Lady 1. Welcome everyone. You still have 3 minutes, over 3 minutes to vote on whichever you think is gonna win. This is a high stakes match for Supreme European Monarchs as well. They are 5-3, so they do need this win if they wanna have a very good chance at making playoffs. And BZ 3-5, you know, can always take as much RD as possible. Maybe even deny SEM the win, but who knows? It's only the first game. And now we're seeing Ulako's deck. Interestingly enough, Yami Yugi with Aloof normal summon, so obviously it is Thunder Dragons. One of the newer variants, post-ban list due to level duplication being very hard to activate in Thunder Dragons. People have been tinkering with Allured by Darkness, with Destiny Draw. So let's see. So there's a rank 6 made out of the 2 roars. It is M7, so that easily can just get over the Cyber Slash. And just like that, he also had the duo, which I believe, yeah, he searched earlier, thanks to Thunder Dragon Dark. And just like that, first game already over. It was pretty bad from the side of Sakura not to have any, to not have drawn into any Spiral Trap. It was pretty susceptible to an M7 or any kind of removal for the Cyber Slash. Was fairly unlucky, but can always turn it around. And turning it around will be just that, as he quickly switches onto his second deck. Yubel, speaking of the devil, with Allured by Darkness earlier. Surely this must be it. 23 cards versus 22. There's the Aluf. Welcome once again, everyone. You have 1 minute remaining for the predictions. 1 minute. There's already over 100,000 gems into the pot. Depending on which team you're supporting, you're gonna win a ton. Or you can also lose a ton. Nonetheless, we're looking at another turn 1, or rather, not really turn 1 because Zulako did go second. But another first turn rather, XE summon, thanks to the Roar float into Hawk effect. And there you have it. In the end phase has the Dark effect. Let's see. Pretty alright first turn board there from Sakura. Still, the fact that you are unable to use Lupine now as material for a rank 6. Oh, passing just like that, Ulako. Surely must mean that he's got something in the hand. Sphere Kuribo is a thing, and with the newer Thunder Dragon variants running Battling Boxer Veil, that's also another thing, which is pretty hard for a deck like Thunder Dragons to deal exactly 4,000 over. At max, they can really just deal 3,100, pretty much around that mark. Let's see. Let's check the predictions for a moment. So 22 people voted, 70k is the maximum amount. Wow, I expected Ulaku to have some form of hand trap, but that's just a game. Just like that. That was pretty fast. Both games up until this point were really fast, so haven't had much of a chance to explain other things. That should be fine. Nonetheless, I remind you that there's also another game that started just now between Shadow Games Links and Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Life. Shadow Games Links, in the past 4 weeks, has won every single match from 1-3 up until 5-3, so they are very much in contention for playoffs. And YGL as well shouldn't be underestimated. Even though both are new teams, they have set a mark within this season of Team Wars thus far. But yeah, it's back onto the table, and we are free to spectate. Alright, you say. It's pretty interesting. Let's see what's he got in store for us. Sakura is still going first though, so we will be having to wait 1 turn before we see that happening. Loof once again, very good. This means, I guess, in this Thunder build, specifically a turn 1 bouncer with the Lupine on the field and with 2 cards in hand. Searching the Hawk if he doesn't have it already. If he does, then I suppose a Duo would be pretty okay follow-up. And Roar, just floating into another Roar. Free level 6 for any Exceed summon. So there's Hawk for the... oh. Chooses to get the other Hawk, that's fine. Instead of Roar. I mean, it doesn't really matter much. He could be expecting Ulako to destroy the Aluf. If he doesn't get to negate anything with Bouncer. But even in that case, you still have... you surely still have a lot of materials left in your hand to try to see what you can do with them. Book a Moon to be used. And Channeler. That's a really ideal starting hand. Channeler, always what you want to see. Not against Bouncer though, but Book a Moon fortunately being able to deal with it, meaning that this combo will go uninterrupted the whole way. Adds rest as well. Probably already tells me that he's got the Egotist in hand. Oracle as well. So plenty of follow-up there for Ulako if Sakura doesn't die this turn. Let's see, it's the last card in hand. Elegant Egotist. Or rather, I suppose you can also draw into it. It is not, but it is a back row instead, which is just as fine. There's the Alpha effect. Gonna be adding that free Dark, which he can also just send. So he does go for the attack there, and not only does he trigger the Allure by Darkness, but or draws in Spell and Trap if he's running it. But Swallow's Nest is to be activated onto the Oracle. That would be lethal. And it is lethal. Just like that. Ulako managing to draw into Swallow's Nest, giving him the win against Sakura. And I suppose the counter pick advantage if Ulako is to lose the next duel. So very good start for SEM, and BZ has to think of something rather quick to try to combat that. In the meantime, let's check some of the graphics, specifically the division standings for these two teams. So we can see that BZ is on 7th place within a pretty hard division. Everyone 5-3, 4-4, and then there's them, BZ and Phoenix with 3-5. Has had a pretty rough start, this team. Seemingly a glimmer of hope being the 3-3, but it's been losses for the past few weeks. Maybe they can turn it around with a win. That would be good for their morale. And on the other side of the bracket, we have SEM. 4 teams with a 5-3 record or better, may I add. And Lost Tribe being one of the very few teams that has managed to pretty much cement a place into the playoffs. You wouldn't have really told that they would be 6-2 after a 1-2 start, but SEM as well, really powerful into the main season, having been 5-1 at one point, one of the only teams to do so, in fact, and they have a really decent RD. to couple with that. So they're very much looking onto getting the win against BZ and joining Lost Tribe, I suppose, as well as other teams such as Abusement Park, I believe, into playoffs pretty much guaranteed. Let's get back to our match. So we have App coming next for BZ. Let's see what's he bringing to this counter pick. 20 cards against Thunder Dragons. Fire Kings would be a pretty good one to send from my own experience. I mean, I don't play much competitively, but on ladder at least, when Thunders were relevant. I mean, they still are because you can still play pre-nerf, but it was mostly free wins when I played Fire Kings. Let's see. That was before Oracle though. Oracle did give them a really big boost and did make the matchup just a bit harder. So let's see if we can see that in this duel. It's got the Channeler combo with one set. No rest follow-up because he did add Egotist. But yeah. Arvada right off the top as well. Is there anything else to go with that? Seemingly not, but that back row does look activatable. Could perhaps be just a nest. Hunting Ground will make quick work of that back row if App doesn't activate it. If it's something continuous, Book a Moon, that's fine. Perfumer. I mean, was just a little bit confused, but I suppose this is how the interaction works, where Harvest Hunting Ground is the mandatory effect, so it always activates as Chainlink 1. But then Book of Moon denying the surge there, or just Ulako not choosing to activate Perfumer there for the Arvada. Negate. Island. Now it gets pretty hard for Ulako and his Harpies. Destroys Barong though, so it's not the end of the world just now. Arvada to be summoned once again, so if he is to top into another Perfumer or Oracle, it's still not gonna be great for Ulako. As the last Arvada, Channeler. Arvada can float, so that's not a big issue. The big issue should be App having any sort of hand trap that would help right now. Or just another Barong to try to live. That is looking good, but the set card of Ulako could change things. Let's see. In defense, yeah. So opting not to have both in attack, because if it is Swallow's Nest, then it could just be lethal right there due to accumulated damage. While this does mean no Destiny draw, he did. I suppose not actually because of the tie that binds, but I mean even without the tie that binds, that would still be lethal. Exactly 28. That was really well played by Olako. Didn't see it. Plays around Veil. Doesn't play around Kiteroid, but you don't really play around Kiteroid now, do you? Quite another fast win from Olako. Just quickly tearing there. The players from BZ, and surely we are looking on to a repeat. Yes, we are. So repeat for BZ, that means whenever you go 0-1, you are able to not play your second deck in order to replay the first. So he is going to be playing once again Fire Kings against Harpies. It was unfortunate that Harpies hunting around in the main deck did make quick work of the island, but now things starting to look already pretty good for App because he's got island early, and if he's got any sort of hand trap, he can just try to outgrind Harpies. Let's see. So there's Garunix's effect. He can choose to negate his own Garunix to have it come back at the start of next turn. And there you have it. Let's see. Olako, 5 cards. We have seen him do pretty good things with 5 cards before. In the second duel against Sakura. So there's Channeler. We have seen Book of Moon, but seemingly he's gonna keep it if he does have it face down. I suppose for the Cyber Slash. Or just keep it for when Garunix comes back. Still giving your opponent a little bit of advantage there. Egotist as well. He's gonna be popping the face down. Interesting. So he did have the Book of Moon. Tried to take a gamble there, I suppose, but the gamble didn't really pay off. Soil's Nest. This just looks like game. This looks not to miss timing, so it's gonna activate once again and we'll be popping the island. And just like that, Cyber Slash could just get over Garunix, and Garunix, yeah, it can float into something, but there's still the issue of Arvada being a hard once per turn. It will be reviving Garunix now, surely. Surely. Or I suppose not. Because, yeah, there could be a hand trap involved. Kiteroid surely would save him there. Opts to go for Abyss Dweller. That's fine. He's testing if there's any hand trap, and there is a Veil. So if he went for Cyber Slash in attack as well, I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter, but Garunix will just get its activation negated. Well, not negated, but it just simply won't activate due to Dweller. And with only one card in hand, Arvada, what can you really do here? What exceeds could help you do something there? Seemingly nothing for now, but Arvada is a really good top deck. It's gonna be pretty hard for Olako to try to deal with that. considering it does float back into Garunix. Trying to see if I missed any search, but everything looks in its place. Tided binds, get over the veil. Let's see. What's the follow-up there? Because if there's any monster in that back row is something that is unable to be activated or stop any attack, this is just game on board due to Arvada's effect float. Are we gonna be seeing any tanky perhaps from app? It is a new card. Ooh, Barong. This should be looking like game if the back row is something that is unable to be stopped. Arvada will be going through and crush. That is the second Arvada. Barong swinging. There is a really big delay, so it is Hysteric Party. That's a really interesting card. Just discard one card and you're gonna be able to special summon as many Harpy Ladies from your grave as possible, so surely one of them is gonna be Oracle, the other surely is gonna be Perfumer, and probably just Lady 1 for the boost. Hunting Ground, popping itself. It's gonna be a nice wall. Oracle in the end phase can add the Egotist from the grave or the Harpy's Hunting Ground, but there's no need for that really right now. And just like that, rest, you have one monster, you have Egotist. Just like that, you're coming back. Thanks to Oracle, mainly. Oracle, as pointed out earlier, is a pretty pesky card for Fire Teams to deal with. Now app is just wondering what went wrong. if there even was something that went wrong in the first place. Just yeah, Hysteric Party making the difference there, getting a lot of advantage just off of that. Opting not to swing did take him quite a while. So now Ulako's really looking to get any type of monster from the draw, be it by rest or by the draw phase. Let's see. He's gonna be shuffling two Lady Ones and the Oracle. And gets the Channeler, so, and has the activation as well. This is looking like game, just right then and there. There's a Cyber Slash. Egotist surely will be activating, and you still have another Egotist. Playing around the non-existent Kytroid. Let's go. Yeah, Ulako really going in hard against BZ. I don't know. Looks pretty rough now. 4-1. Your counter pick and your repeat didn't manage to pay off, and you're at a pretty high deficit in points. Anyway, I'll remind you that there are other games as well going on right now. There is Shadow Games Links versus Yu-Gi-Oh! Game Life, and soon to start will be Duel Links Taiwan versus Diffusion, a pretty good match. Once again, it features another. I don't remember what the score of Duel Links Taiwan is, but Diffusion is 5-3 right now. Both very high inside their division. And there's also Lost Tribe versus Garuda that is set to start at the same exact time. So make sure to tune in. Use the multi-twitch command, which is !multi, to be able to watch everything at the same time. With that being said, I guess we can just point out compared to last week. So last week, look just how many Seraph Dark Lords there were. Close to 200 in mirror matches and just 146 instances of them winning and losing, with Blue Eyes soon to follow, and Onomats obviously being the last one. But just the sheer difference in usage is soon to change. Ban list applied, new meta, 2-deck format, so no side format. It is one of the first few sites of the 2-deck format with the new ban list in place. We've already seen Thundras, we've seen Harpies, and we've only pretty much seen that because Ulaka was able to streak with Harpies, I believe 3 wins. And still, I'm doing fine, Hypernay. Thank you for asking. It is a pretty hard day today. We have 12 matches for this Saturday, and a lot of them are starting around this morning. So 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Usually the prime time for Timor's matches. Welcome, card maker. Let's check back onto the division standings. Yeah, not much to be said there. It's just a lot of teams still trying as hard as possible to make it to playoffs. There's so much potential in the Aroma Garden division. A lot of wild card potential, that is. You have the top 2 teams from each division to make playoffs, guaranteed. And then you have the next best 4 performing teams. The next 4 best performing teams, rather, that get in as the last 4 spots. Anyway, we will be starting the next match. Mikasa is joining us. So let's see if he's able to do anything. Aster Phoenix, not a sight usually see every day. Harpy's going first, has a Perfumer. It ain't a Channeler, but it's still just as good. Swallow's Nest, I take back my words. There's the Channeler. He's gonna get the Oracle. Has the second Perfumer as well in hand, so I guess a very ideal turn, provided he draws into some form of disruption. We have seen Sakura earlier just having an ideal setup but not drawing into any back row and ended up being OTK'd the very next turn. Master Fusion Luna. I don't know, but I will remind that the ban list is in effect, so If it is Luna's, then it's going to be with up to 3 of Veil, of Modern, or of Emerald Bird. Nonetheless, Ulaco will just sit on the Cyber Slash with 2 back row. Stratos will be activated, so it is Heroes. Presumably the one with Plasma. There's no real other variant right now. I mean, I suppose every hero runs Plasma. But yeah, let's see. So it does have Stratos into Ferris combo. You're able to special summon up to 3 monsters pretty much. Especially considering he does also have the Malicious. Doesn't need to send it with Vion. Can be free to send Celestial instead for an external follow-up. That is an interesting observation. 24 cards. $24 cards is quite the amount for a hero deck, but if it works, I guess. Opening the combo. Alright, Increase finally deciding to activate, and it does go through uninterrupted. So Vion, as a result, will be coming onto the field, sending the Celestial that was mentioned earlier. And now you have a lot of options. If you have Plasma, you can opt for Plasma, but against 2 backer it's very risky. You have the Poly play. Okay, sorry, I was looking for something. So he opted to go for Adoration as usual, but Hysteric Party, a card we've seen just earlier that ended up making the difference in the repeat against App, is going to be activated, and Mass Change will just say no to the Harpy Lady Cyber Slash effect. Still, there's a lot of advantage to gain off of the Hysteric Party. Sadly, it didn't have the Oracle, but Perfumer is still something. Gonna be able to get 2 cards thanks to Cyber Slash still being on the field. And yeah, that's a lot of board presence for Ulaco, and not a whole lot of another Mass Change in the main phase. Keep in mind that if this card leaves the field, the monsters will just be destroyed. So Blast right now is going to be halving the attack of Cyber Lady Slash. Swallow's Nest, at the very least, will still keep 1 monster onto the field, but is this where a potential misplay occurs? Because he did do it in the main phase. That's 1 less attack. Form Change in the main phase. I suppose that is an OTK, but it's just a little weird to see all of these cards. I mean, man, that was that was quite the hand from Mikasa. He had the Stratos, he had the Malicious, and he did have... What? What was that? Anyway, that does put SEM to, or rather Ulako to a stop. And yeah, Heroes winning. You love to see that. Heroes back in the meta. Let's go. Maybe not so. Let's see. Three change spells indeed. He had 2 mass change and 1 form change. Form change making the difference there. Just Koga always being an OTK pretty much through any 2800 or less attack position monster. Well, they have 3 monsters on the field, so Hysteric Party actually being the one card that both saved and didn't save Ulako there. But yeah, we're gonna be waiting for the next player from SEM to come in. While that happens, thank you to everyone for tuning in. Make sure to check the other matches as well. We will be having 2 more starting pretty soon. And yeah, welcome everyone once again. 45 minutes and it is 4-2. Pretty fast first few duels, but finally we started slowing down to a better pace. And yeah, I'm just waiting for the next one to join. Let's check the animation at top left. Oh, we have Sound Magician, so a good time I suppose to check the animation out. So there's Koppa coming into the room for SEM. I mean, what really is the best deck against Heroes right now? Probably opting to send another heart piece if I was SEM right there. But yeah, let's just see what they choose to go with. It is most likely a Destiny Draw user. 24 cards, and Heroes going first. Now, Heroes going first is and has always been pretty much the bane of them. Being able always to not have the best turn 1 and very little follow-up on the very next turn. And from what we've seen earlier, Thunderers now have a pretty good combo for just OTKing just the Aloof and the Bouncer or the M7 for game. So he will be committing to a Ferris, discarding another Ferris. You want to resolve Ferris ASAP. He's gonna be having Malicious for a potential next turn. And 2 set cards to pair with the 2 monsters. Ooh, so we will be having Fire Kings. That's really interesting to see. I mean, the only way you really lose is again with Koga and Blast. So there's CC for the island. Island already having activated the effect, meaning that if he has another, it's not gonna be doing anything. So there's Wolf Bark without any monster in the grave. Just swinging into the Vion uninterrupted. So Wolf Bark can revive pretty much, or rather it just says revive Barongor Arvada with their effects negated. Malicious will be activating. We'll be summoning another Malicious from the deck, so another fodder pretty much for the poly that is still either on the field or in Copa's hand. And depending on the top deck, I mean, Malicious is in attack position. Let's see. He will be fusing the two monsters off the field for the Adoration. Now, do you have another monster? Specifically Stratos? Specifically not. It will be just Adoration, and I mean there is a delay from Mirror Wall, and there is increases effect for that, but Mirror Wall, not the most uncommon card to see in Fire Kings, especially in the Blue Eyes meta, considering it was a pretty good card to have once the Dragon Spirit of White was being used. Wolf Bark once again poking in 1600, giving any skill activation for Mikasa if it wasn't done already. And now what do you really have? You have an increase, but you probably have no more Vions, or probably no more cards to send off of Vion. You have no Celestial either, and it's just one set, so any monster pretty much is going to seal the deal for Mikasa and get the win for Copa. Mirror Wall making a world's difference there. Activating in the damage step, so no mass change shenanigans, no form change shenanigans, just leaving Mikasa completely defenseless, and that's game. 5 against 2 in favor of SEM, already to the half point of the duel. If you're busy there, you've already exhausted quite a couple of options, so it's just gonna be all in from now on, at least from Mikasa. So we have Shark that already just tells us that it is probably water. People do say that just because there's a Bizdua with a pop, it means it just counters Fire Kings, but I'm not on that side of opinions there. I think Fire Kings is still really a good deck against Water Xyz, provided they don't open like extremely broken in the form of Necro Valley, in the form of TDH, in the form of Dweller with a pop, that kind of thing. Because if you open all of those, you just win against any deck pretty much, not just Fire Kings. And just Arvada from Copa. Arvada pass isn't the worst, but Mikasa is going second and has that much more chance to open any form of disruption for Arvada, such as a Book of Moon. We see it being ran a lot. 2 set cards. Will we be seeing a third? We will be seeing a third, but will we also see any monster to try to deal with this Arvada? The sooner you deal with Arvada, the better it is for you. You exhaust one Arvada without any kind of negate. You will just be setting the monster. 1800 is pretty hard to deal with for water, considering Diva will just get negated. So it has to be infantry into something. Dweller just get over and you have a Dweller. So, but in this duel we will be seeing no Dweller as a starter thus far. Alright, we have the Barong. Welcome, Levy. We are sitting at 142 viewers. Thank you to everyone for coming in. It is a very action-packed day today with a lot of Team Wars matches. We have 12 matches, may I remind you, for this day of Saturday, spread throughout the whole day, with the majority being in early morning. So make sure to check everything out utilizing the multi command, !multi, for checking out every single stream going on right now. Back to the game. So Barong will be swinging into the face down. I don't know, 3 back row, what could they really be? A TDH there won't really do any good because it will just be floating back the Barong, and then you also get the float, and you still have the risk of having your monster being destroyed. But Bukamoon will be activating presumably onto Arvada if he doesn't have any other removal. But if he does, then I suppose on Barong works just as fine. We'll be onto, there's a damage step card, and there it is, the lance to be used to keep the infantry alive. Worked out pretty well for Mikasa there. Took a pretty fair risk and didn't manage to get another water monster onto the field for making a Biz Dweller. There it is. And there's another backer, so he desperately needed that water monster from the deck to try to combat this situation that Koppa has put him in. 4 cards still left in hand for Koppa, so he's chilling. No need to sweat just yet. Dweller just as well can be dealt with a Bukamoon, unless there's other lances, but by that point you exhausted his lance. You probably just could get over it by Barong, by means of battle, that is. And there we see Tanky. 1 new card. He did have it in hand, opted not to search just yet. Opted to search something if he needed to. They say deck thinning is deck winning. Not really in Fire Kings. You don't wanna exhaust every single thing just yet. But there's Wolfbark already onto the field. Can very easily summon the Arvada, and it will go uninterrupted considering that Dual Effect does nothing against it. Wolfbark is from the field even though it revives from the graveyard. So now Mikasa has to have some sort of answer for Wolfbark, else an Exceed summon should be looking likely. There's the effect. And anything? Keep in mind that because he revived Arvada, Arvada's effect could still be live if it alongside alongside any other of his monsters get destroyed at the same time by the means of a DTH, for example. And there's the DH. We know he has one Barong in hand, so not only can he revive the Wolf Bark back, although it is a hard once per turn, it's still a level 4 onto the field. He can also summon the Barong from the hand, giving him yet again a full board of monsters. Let's see. He opted not to go for the Barong. Do remember that Wolf Bark is a hard once per turn. Can only summon once. Let's see, what's he gonna exceed summon into? It's the spider. Dweller effect to just destroy the spider, and that's it. Almost any monster at this point should be game, and that's one of them. Is there any hand trap from Copa? If he has a Kytroid, he has to activate it now, and he does have a Kytroid. So even if he activates Dweller there, it's still only gonna be triggering the Destiny draw. So there's Island. Island really good at this point in the game, getting off the Barong, and you can search for another Arvada perhaps, or Garunix. Yeah, he already had the Arvada. Makes sense, getting the Garunix. And now you would think that Mikasa is at the imbalance now. Barong effect can add pretty much any card you want, which will be Onslaught. Interesting that he gets to add Onslaught there. What's in his grave? So he has quite a few monsters left in the grave. Arvada can float into Barong there and get another search if he opts to. 2 set cards on the side of Mikasa. At this point, he can just use Island's second effect to summon the Garunix and try to, or use Onslaught, that's also just as good, to try to get rid of this Abyss Dweller. And there's Lance. Garunix will be destroyed by battle, but Arvada could theoretically suicide into Abyss Dweller, but that would just force the effect of Abyss Dweller, and you really don't want that to happen. There's still 1 Garunix left in the hand for Copa. Which he could use right now, but he's gonna be using it next turn. This leaves him prone to the Fire King Island second effect, but once again, if he has another lance, it would be his 3rd lance. Could be doing some wonders, and just all the more give Mikasa a chance to push for a game. And it's a very hard matchup for water. You just outgrind them. Even Lance isn't enough at this point because no more materials. It isn't lethal just yet, but we have seen no delay from either player. Let's see. No monster. No nothing. He only got 3 monsters pretty much, so all back row, and unfortunately not being enough to deal with this. There's the Book of Moon. Is there another way to stop this attack? Or is this game? It is not game. It will be the 3rd Book of Moon that we will be seeing this duel. Both monsters are face down, but there's still one face down of Koppa's field. Buzzsaw Shark is a 1-card Exceed summon. Keep in mind that he didn't use any he didn't use a second effect for a second skill activation rather, sorry. Even though he doesn't need it because he can go into Angler, I guess. I believe Angler is your only target. But still. Prisma Buzzsaw. Now you still have a 2 material. Ooh, there's a delay. So probably safe to assume that the delay is either from the side of Koppa with a mirror wall, or from the side of Mikasa with perhaps a lance. And CC to take care of the Fiendish Chain, and that should just be it. The attack will go through and it will be lethal. And there you have it. Koppa eliminating Mikasa. And forcing once again for BZ to switch players. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough now for BZ, if it wasn't already. There's only Doctor and 1000 remaining for their side. Yeah, this meta is still not as figured out, so it's heavily based upon reads, I would assume, and risks. Taking risks in week 9, when a lot of the teams aren't really set in stone for playoffs, is a very huge deal. And at this point, the better preparation will be paying off, as well as, you know, the in-game aspect of preparation, or not necessarily preparation, but you know, just luck, just drawing the right cards at the right time. But generally speaking, the tactical aspect should be having a much higher impact in this week and the next one as well. Probably less so next week, but still. The other games have started, so make sure to tune in. Lost Tribe vs Garuda and Duel Links Taiwan vs Diffusion, streamed on Mumu and on Dark's channels respectively. And yeah, speaking of promotion, make sure to check the YouTube out that Duel Links Team Wars has put out. Exclamation mark YouTube. Let me do it for you. So we intend to grow out the YouTube channel with a lot of content. Currently we have to catch up with past season content and stuff like that, so we would heavily appreciate if you would subscribe and share it with your friends. Back to the game. So we have Doctor coming in for BZ. Antinomy as a character. Koppa starting with tanky, so can add either Barong or Arvada pretty much, or Wolfbark if you are an enthusiast and want to combo off, but it's not the case obviously. Arvada pass. seemingly way stronger with Tenki. And we see Evil Eye, Domain, Pareidolia activated. That's a sight to see. There's Medusa to be summoned after being searched from the field spell, and has the Selene as well. 2 back row. I mean, the back row could really be anything at this point. Defeat is a thing, TTH is another thing, and it's a little bit perplexing, I would consider not sending in Evil Eyes first against Fire Kings. Or actually no, the order was something else. Yeah, it is a good, it is a really good counter pick for Fire Kings. But just let's not forget that Coppa still has a second deck remaining, so if Evil Eyes wants to do something, they have to eliminate Coppa and put it back to a 6 and 4 scoreline, which would be much more manageable for BZ to work off with. Let's see. So he will be swinging. And we see the defeat. It was pretty much set in stone that one back row would have been able to stop the Arvada there. Coppa not having any other follow-up as well for his own main phase, with an island perhaps, try to get a Barong in the grave for Medusa to banish. Yeah, in this matchup you really have to get CC, there's no other way. It's really hard any other way to win. I suppose burn is another win condition, but it's so very rare that it happens at this point. It's more likely for a draw to happen than a loss due to burn. But yeah, Basilius sending the Gorgonail can set up for a search. Opted not to also return his own Medusa, that way he could have gotten a defeat back thanks to its effect, and pay for Selene and just get all the closer to whatever skill he's running, if he has a skill that requires life points. Certainly a play you can do yourself if you play Evil Eyes. $1900. That means that Coppa can activate only up to 2 CCs now, if he has any in the first place. But he will be setting a monster instead. Could be the Arvada, although you probably don't want to lose Arvadas like that. Awakening, alright, so Doctor can set up for a rank 3 play or a rank 4, but Medusa will probably just try to push for game there. Basilius as well can mill another if need be. Barong was face down, and nothing from the side of Copa. So 0 Medusa effects, just like that. It will be the win for Doctor. BZ betters surely are rejoicing at the sight of another win. Let's see once again how many people voted for BZ. There's 9 people that hoped for BZ to win. 24% of all gems in favor of BZ, as a matter of fact. So yeah, let's check the next duel. We have water, most presumably. Like, whenever you see shark, you know it's water exceeds, or rather sea serpent exceeds, as we call it as far as data is concerned, because there's also fish exceeds which was relevant for 1 week but then fell out of contention. But yeah, 2 back row for Doctor. Not the best, certainly not the best. MST to deal with one of them. Double cyclone for Doctor destroyed there. I mean, it is a good hit for Doctor, don't get me wrong, because there's Karma Cut, discarding the Selene. And this is only just to stop any further setup for Copa. But now you have 2 cards to try to work off with, and I mean, Medusa can add back the Selene, but I don't know. There's still... Now you know that MST is a card played in Copa's deck, so at least there's Paradoya to extend, get the Basileus out maybe. One moment. One moment, guys. Need to do something real quick. Hopefully Basileus was searched and something happened. Yeah, it was searched and sent Gorgoneo. So opted just to sit on the Selene, not search anything. Certainly it's a fair board state. And Copa's hand doesn't really treat him well either. Just another set, no other monster. So we know that at least one of his cards in hand is a monster that you probably don't... you have to combo with another monster. So something like a marksman or an angler or an Atlantean attack squad. So one of these to work off with another monster to get out the territory of the sharks activated and do go into an Exceeds monster. But yeah, from a very I would say the 50-50 was really crucial there. Managing to destroy the double cyclone and not the Karma Cut, I think allowed Doctor to be in this position and be in a winning position for that matter, while Copa is struggling to draw into another monster to combo off with the other. Sends another Gorgoneo. It's understandable because it's... Oh, Storm! He's one of Storm, and it completely allows for him to, just like that, to turn a duel in his favor. Keep in mind that Storm destroys on resolution, so TTH could not have been activated there because there was one untargetable monster. And now, 3 cards in hand. Hopefully, so there's Diva. So he did have a Diva, and he opted not to activate it or do something with it. Double Infantry. Oh well. Does he have another level 4 in hand? Let's see. So he opts, by the way, not to go into Brionac to try to return the Celine. Brio certainly would be a pretty good out, but if he has another Diva, that cannot really happen, but... Oh, is this going to be lethal just by battle? Hope Woven, reduce the attack by 1000. There's Dweller to force out the Celine. Medusa will be chaining, obviously. And yeah, Hope Woven just gonna be activating and gonna destroy the Celine if need be. I mean, isn't this lethal by battle anyway? Can just go in. And there you have it. Boom. Slow-mo. Let's go. Yeah. Wasn't enough there for Doctor, even with the pretty good position that he had. He had to have also gotten more defeats. So probably that one play... No, never mind. Thinking of the other game. But yeah, he's really quickly back onto the table. Let's see. 7-3 scoreline. This duel could really make the difference there. 25 cards from the side of Doctor. And just one set. So hopefully he's got something other than just the set card to deal with, because MST top deck will be able to deal with that. And well, it was a CC, to be fair, so not a whole lot of decks run CC, but once you see it and you also see 25 cards, then you also probably assume that it is Destiny Draw. You probably already are thinking of Fire Kings, because it is one of the most good looking decks going into this new meta, as well as Water, for example, with their capability to have a lot of back row, as well as Harpies, obviously. Really good deck to have right now, but currently it's looking like OTK, but considering he did set the CC, let's see if there's a Kytroid. It is a Sphere, to be fair, and there was a slight delay probably from the side of Copa with his Abyss Dweller. Prisma Sphere Kuribo. Could still be Thunder Dragons. 25 cards. Although I'm not quite sure if you run Sphere Kuribo as well as Veils, because you run the Veils for sure, but do you also run the Sphere Kuribos? Maybe in 25 cards, sure. You do have the space there, but Book of Moon, CC, is probably not Thunder Dragons at this point. Abyss will be activating. So there we see the Baron normal summon pass. That's pretty sad to see. Any Diva, any infantry into any other monster, and this looks like it. Unless Doctor has another back row, another hand trap, potentially Kytroid. Buzzsaw. It is a 1 card, rank 4, and it is lethal if there is no hand trap in the form of Sphere Kuriboh or Kytroid. Let's see. Probably thinking which is the best to go into, the Woven or the Dweller, but man, Doctor opened pretty badly. CC not even being able to be activated, the Sphere not doing much, and at this point he's just playing to save himself from game right there. So there's infantry. That's fair, considering he should be looking to set up as much as possible. He is in the winning position, but he doesn't have to trigger Destiny Draw. Baron normal summon once again. It's probably just gonna get Book of Moon. Or not. But still. I'm gonna go for, or at least try to go for game there. There was a slight delay when Dweller activated. Dweller not activated, dealt battle damage, so probably his first card in the hand is a Veil due to the delay. Topped into a second card, that just puts Copa into the realm of unknown. What if it's a Kytroid? What if it's another Veil? Diva to be activated, no effect. Pause champ because 3 monster zones obviously. That's another rank 4, and it is lethal through a Veil, so he has to have top decked exactly a Kytroid or a Sphere Kuriboh, and he does have it, so it's still looking very bad for Doctor. Not even Onslaught at this point I think can save you. Nothing can really save at this point. It's just an impending doom, an impending defeat. Yeah. Didn't even activate Dweller for the Kytroid. Just Book of Moon as well. What? What? I mean, yeah, this way you don't, you don't trigger Destiny Draw. That's a really good play, and really interesting, because he's still playing around Destiny Draw. He doesn't want to give Doctor any type of comeback tool by means of Destiny Drawing. So he utilized his own Book of Moon to deny his own attack there, and always making sure to just attack for game with the Hope Woven, because he knows this is a Veil, and he knows it cannot trigger because he has more attack points than Doctor has life points. So very well played there from Copa. Never giving Doctor any opportunity to come back into the game. And just like that, 8-3. 2 players getting 4 wins, and none of them is ZENZO, which is still first on the power rankings, according to the last week. I believe trailing behind is Luis by just 1, so I suppose there's gonna be no wins for him to add onto his record. So yeah, that's something that he's not gonna be too happy about, I suppose. But yeah. What's the chat doing? 8-3. It is looking like quite the stomp. SEM surely looking to cement a place into playoffs after this match, if it goes their way, around the same score line, because RD does matter a lot. Can easily make the difference between making playoffs and not making playoffs. And yeah, we only have 1,000 remaining from BZ. It's gonna have to do a reverse sweep from 8-3 up to 8-10. Not to say it never happened, but certainly it's gonna be very hard. Reverse sweeps are arguably even harder to do than a 10-0, because you have the pressure. You have the pressure that you're always in the losing position up until you try to regulate the score at an 8-8. And in a meta like this, where nothing is, or well, not really nothing, but a lot of teams are struggling or thinking very hard rather to find out what's the best lineup they can have for a week, for week 9. And it does get to you when your call is wrong. But let's see what 1,000 can do. Ubel. Let's see. Copa is going first. Let's see. We have a couple other games going on at the same time. Make sure to check them out using !multi. So a lot of good games going on right now, so make sure not to miss the action and check a lot of the games going on at the same time. Could even choose to mute me and have another perhaps more entertaining caster, or a duo even. But yeah, back to the game. So heavy infantry gonna be summoning off the Diva. Exactly what you want to see on turn 1. Especially considering he also has 2 back row to work off with. Not just the dweller effect and pop. Aloof. With the roar to be banished off as the cost. Dark obviously as the follow-up. So he has the option to go for a rank 6 if obviously Dweller goes through uninterrupted, rather interrupted, and the back row also is something not to be activated. But we have seen so many Bukamoons. We've seen TDH. We've seen Drowning even from Copa. So it's gonna be very hard for 1000 to try to do anything in this position. Thundra, as it is currently in this meta post-ban list, doesn't look like the best deck to play through back row. Gonna remind once again, make sure everyone to check the commands in the bottom left corner. You have the Discord server, which you can use to join and keep up with every single Team Wars related action inside the Discord. You can check everything there. There's Twitter as well. Most match related information and other important news are going to be tweeted out. Sub if you want to join in on the fantasy league. It is very late now, but you can also join for playoffs and have a chance to win $50 if your bracket is correct. Make sure to sub to be able to enter. And there's also the YouTube channel, which we will be using to upload a lot of our new content starting soon. We already have Season 7 and Season 8, but Season 9 is soon to come. Back to the game, we have two level 6 onto the field. This is grounds for a lot of thinking from the side of Copa. Roar was already activated, Hawk was already activated, can easily just TTH there. At the same time, can also TTH when Ptolemy comes down onto the field, or Book. Book works just as fine because this way you don't give 3 materials in the grave for a levy. And just like that could kill Thousands' turn. Marksman as well, easily can trigger just by destroying the elf. How much defense does Ptolemy have? It is 2000, so Abyss can safely swing over. Will be just that. Any sphere. Not like it matters that much, and probably you would be sphering. Okay, goes for a direct swing. Marksman to be activated. Is there a veil to be chained? No. And that's game, just like that. No veil, no sphere, no nothing. Copa putting SEM onto match point right then and there. Nine and 3. Probably wouldn't have seen this coming. I surely wouldn't have seen this coming. Yeah, not sure what to make out of this situation. Seemingly... Oh, repeat, okay. There will be a repeat for the side of BZ. So 1000 will be once again trying to do the impossible, if it is impossible in the first place, and try to go for the reverse sweep. Will be Thundras once again against Water Exceeds, the deck that partially got a lot of wins for Copa. charge. Gonna be milling not the best cards, Melody and another charge. Raiden at the very least makes sure that he gets sufficient materials for a duo or a levy. Dark only though, as far as searching or floating is concerned. No roar. It is going to be a duo summon. I suppose 1000 is trying to gamble and I guess try to have the best board state as possible. Maybe Raiden as well can nail something good in the end phase. Roar can add back the Hawk. Hawk can summon the Dark, and from there you can go into a rank into a level 9 Synchro Summon. No, it will just be having the Hawk for a next turn. No effect, no nothing, but man, these mills are pretty horrid. 2 Aluf in the end phase, with your Raider most likely being gone by the next turn. Infantry gonna be summoning the attack squad. That is a rank 4 to be summoned if need be, and can clear the board. Territory to be activated. And still thinking. Sorry guys, I have to take care of some things in the meantime. I didn't mention that there are a lot of matches going on today, and I need to make sure that everything is good. So there is going to be the rank 4 play. Hope Woven gonna be going straight for Raiden. Interestingly enough, oh, Sphere Kuribo. Okay. At the very least, he's able to choose whatever card he wants to destroy, which should obviously be the duo there. Raiden could still pose to be a threat. The more bad stuff you mill, the more good stuff you can mill later on. So we could just see a Roar, but I think he already does have the Roar in the grave. Okay, we can just see a Dark. And there's the Dark and the Levy. So a Levy there would be huge. Still not gonna be enough to deal with the Hope Woven if he chooses not to destroy the Hope Woven. Interesting enough, he goes for a Hawk. Surely going for a level 9 Synchro Summon, right? Get the Vermilion out, pop 1 back row, and then hope for a Levy. But at the same time, Could have very well used the Raiden alongside Levi for Onimaru if he runs it, and then Hawk back the duel and go for a game that way. Or there's still the float that he has to take care of. It's not just the back row. So there's Lupine. Does he have a rank 4? A rank 4 would do wonders there, considering that pretty much any rank 4 can temporarily remove a monster off the field, such as Malevolent Sin, which we are probably gonna be seeing right now. Number 70. Banish off the Hope Woven, meaning that it won't be able to float. There is no Levy though, but there's the Drowning Mirror Forest. Oh well. When it works, man. Drowning. Making the difference in this duel. Is there anything left in Thousand's hand even to try to deal with this? Seemingly no. And that's game. 10-3. GG's in the chat. And yeah, this is heartbreaking for BZ. Copa 6-1, single-handedly finishing the starter streak that Ulaco started. And just like that, 10-3. What a match from both teams. Still showed quite the resilience there, BZ. But yeah, what are the implications of this result? One could be asking, and let me show you. Let's go to the graphics once again and see that SEM is now 6-3 with 22 RD, I believe, or 23 rather. 23 RD. No, 22, sorry, my bad. 22 RD. That surely must put them at the very least in the top 2, unless Bricks and Potatoes or Diffusion have a better win. But what's really better than a 10-3? Bricks and Potatoes as well has hard opponent in TZ, and Diffusion has another hard opponent as well as in Duel Links Taiwan. BZ hard opponent as well, but 10-3, just kind of unlucky there. But yeah, I suppose that would be it with this game. Make sure once again, there's the multi-Twitch link. You have a lot of games to check out. There's on the Atonic's channel, which started alongside this match. There's on Moon's channel, which started an hour later, and there's also on Duel Links Lounge, powered by Dark and Fear, casting at the moment with Kaibasis as well. So a lot of good matches to check out if you want one right now, and other matches starting off soon in 15 minutes. We will be having Sky Parameters and Modern Empire, as well as Ushishas versus Raflija ID. So make sure to check everything out, and once again, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It means a lot to us. We will be using it to expand and make a lot of pretty cool content, so make sure to check that out. Let's do the prediction as well. SEM, the winner. Make sure to cash in on those jimmies, and I'm out. Let's check who to raid. Let me check real quick the on the Atomic stream, the score. It is 6-5. Okay, let's do a raid for him, or rather a host. Okay, thank you once again for checking out, and see you later. Goodbye.